Okay, now jumping into our fifth and final solo for this course. This time we're going to go way back to 1923. We're going to be jamming over the changes that you hear in the classic tune, Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out. That's a great tune that's been covered by the likes of Bessie Smith and of course Eric Clapton. And it features a very, very interesting chord change in the key of C, moving from the C major chord to an E dominant 7, a borrowed chord shape that always trips up lead guitar players. Let's learn how to tackle it. Okay, so that is a fascinating chord progression in the key of C major. I'm going to guide you through the changes now. We're going to start off with the C major chord, jump to a borrowed chord shape, E dominant 7, which drives us into the next change, A7. Next we're going to have D minor, back to A7, and back to D minor. All right, it's going to get a little bit more complicated still. Now we're going to F major, sharpening its root note for a diminished chord before a C to A7 walk down. Next we're at D7, and then it's going to climax with its 5 chord, G dominant 7. You put all that together and we have D minor, A7, D minor, F major, F sharp diminished, and C, A7, D7, G dominant 7. All right, so this is a good example of a chord progression which has a bunch of borrowed non-diatonic chord shapes, which means that you're not just going to be able to sit in one scale. You're going to have to move with the progression and create licks that are tailor-fitted to those changes by scale mixing, picturing the caged chord shapes up and down the fretboard. For example, this chord progression we can find that exact same thing up the neck here. So let's say we're going to play this now in its E-shaped position. Here we are, C major. All right, if you remember my first lick, I'm picturing C major, E major played with an A shape, and then A major played with a D shape. I was able to build and construct my licks using those chord shapes primarily. Then, as the D minor chord comes in, I can picture D minor played with its E minor chord shape. All right, it's E-shaped position. Okay, so C, E major, A major, D minor, you can play it as a bar or as a partial, back to A, and then back to that D minor chord. All right, then from there we have the F major chord coming in, right? So there I can picture the F chord, not here in the E-shaped position, but rather right here in its D-shaped position, and consider its overlapping major pentatonic scale. All right, and from there I can create a nice little lick. And find myself back to the A7 chord. Okay, so it's very important that you learn the progression underneath of the solo or lick that you're trying to learn, but then take the time to ask yourself, Okay, where can I find those chord shapes elsewhere on the fretboard, and are they going to reveal some melodic possibilities?